As Albert Einstein once said, wisdom is not a product of schooling, but of a lifelong attempt to acquire it. On that note, I, Akhila Sabu, on behalf of Parul University and Research Culture Society and Scientific Research Association, and the organizing committee members, Dr. C.M. Patel, Director, Research Culture Society, Ms. Jaya Chetwani, Counselor and Special Educator Pune, and Dr. Jessica, Founder, Scientific Research Association, welcome you today for the 1 week short-term training program on developing personal improvement through soft skills. A short note about the short-term training program. Soft skills are personal attributes, personality traits, inherent social cues, and communication abilities and needed for success. Soft skills include adaptability, attitude, communication, creative thinking, work ethic, teamwork, decision making, positivity, time management, motivation, flexibility, problem solving, critical thinking, and conflict resolution. Soft skills training can mean the difference between assertive action versus aggressive action. Soft skills is an intangible idea in which the qualities like attitude, ability, integrity, reliability, positivity, flexibility, and dependability, punctuality, management, cooperation, habits, and practices are combined proficiently to capitalize on a person's work efficiency. Soft skills do the work of combining all these components in accurate share into skills and shaping them into competencies. What we'll learn today is confidence and enthusiasm for learning, developing self-motivation, raised aspirations, and belief in one's own abilities, defining and committing to achieving one's goals, develop effective interpersonal communication, leadership, emotional and social skills, develop all-round personality with a mature outlook to function effectively in different circumstances. Now, we would like to show you a short video about Research Culture Society. I request Sir to please start the video message.
Warm greetings to all. Research Culture Society is a government-registered international scientific research organization. Society is working for the research community at national and international level to impart quality and non-profitable services. Our members are scholarly educationists from various universities and institutes of repute. Here, the faculties, research scholars, and students interested in the area of research are given guidance and support in how their work can support to the betterment of our present and future generations. Research Culture Society is conducting conferences, seminars, symposiums, workshops, training and development programs on different themes. Society has organized 100 plus educational programs successfully at national and international level in association with different educational institutions, and also published selected research papers as general special issues and book proceedings. Educational institutions, colleges, universities are being welcomed for the association and memorandum of understanding, academic exchange, knowledge sharing, and collaboration to organize events with us. Scholarly professors, academicians, and researchers also being welcomed to join us as the speakers and trainers. Society is promoting and sponsoring educational events as well as publishing research work in collaboration. Society also offers membership. Here are the glimpses of International Conferences 2021. Here, some of our past international conferences 2020. And there are also glimpses of workshops, FDPs, and webinars. Society announces awards every year as RCS International Awards for academicians, researchers, professors, lecturers, teachers, doctoral students, tutors, practitioners, industry delegates, and citizens as individual category. And institutions, colleges, universities, higher education, corporate, firm, and industry sector as common category. Our MOUs, collaborators, and associate institutions, universities. The journal associated with Research Culture Society are referred, indexed with high impact factor. Society journals are publishing research papers, articles in all major fields and subjects related to sciences, health sciences, engineering, agriculture, pharmacy, commerce, management, social sciences, arts, humanities, education, law, and life skills. Journals provide publications and digital identification with nominal processing charge. Research Culture Society also provides print and online book publications with ISBN. Society invites book publication in all study subjects and categories. Thesis converted into books and conference proceedings publication are also available. We invite sponsorship and grants from the corporate, industries, institutions, and government organizations to support our educational programs. The society arranges special lectures on soft skills, communication skills, personality development, behavior improvement, etc., and arranges competitions on research in science and technology, general and technical knowledge in different institutions, colleges, universities, and schools. The society bestows excellence and achievement awards as RCS International Awards and SRA Global Awards. For further inquiry, visit our website and also connect by email. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Today, our resource person is Professor Dr. Harvinder Soni ma'am. Dr. Harvinder Soni ma'am is the founder director of Skill-Biz Corporate Solutions, HR Skills. She is also associated as a professor with Taxila Business School, Jaipur, and is an academic coach and consultant for an Australian university. Dr. Harvinder Soni ma'am is a renowned trainer and management expert. She is also a certified trainer in transactional analysis. Dr. Soni has a rich and varied experience and expertise in the areas of human resource management, training skills, and change management, soft skills, personality development, organizational behavior, transactional analysis, research, behavioral training, and many more allied areas. She has conducted a number of management development programs and workshops for managers, faculty, and corporate professionals for grooming their professional skills. She has a professional experience of more than 24 years and has worked with reputed management institutes of Noida, Jaipur, and Udaipur. Recently, she has been bestowed with the award of Distinguished Professor in Higher Education by Scientific Research Organization, SRA Global Awards 2021. She has also been acknowledged and honored as one of the top 10 women corporate trainers of India 2022 by Women Entrepreneur India magazine. Dr. Harvinder Soni has authored 2 books, Performance Management and Staff Turnover Intention of Employees in Chain and Non-Chain Hotels of Udaipur District. 5 research scholars have been awarded PhD under her supervision. She has graced several national and international conferences as a keynote speaker and session chair. Her research papers have been published in various national and international journals, and she has presented papers in many national and international conferences. We welcome ma'am for today's session. Today's session will be on developing persuasive skills, goal setting, speeches for various occasions, and facing job interview. I would now request ma'am to take over the session and please start the lecture. Thank you.
I'll just share my screen before we start. Is the full screen slide visible? Yeah, is this PowerPoint visible on the screen?
Yes, ma'am, please do it.
Okay. So today we are going to discuss about certain aspects regarding goal setting and developing interpersonal skills, persuasive skills. And yesterday we were talking about self-management. So when we were talking about self-management, definitely we said that goal setting is an important part of managing one's own life. Now, when we talk about the success and failure of people, we should consider the question that why some people are not able to achieve their goals in life. Maybe that is because they are not able to make a deliberate action plan for achieving the goals and rather wait for things to take the natural course. So when no deliberate effort or action is taken to achieve one's goals, there is lesser possibility that we would be able to accomplish our objectives and goals of life. Different people may have different goals. They may relate to the fitness, they may relate to career, they may relate to financial goals, they may relate to social goals or even spiritual goals. But goal setting is so important if we really want to achieve our objectives in life, if we want that we should be able to timely accomplish certain focus areas which we have laid down for ourselves, then we should learn the art of goal setting. Now, what are the advantages of laying down the goals? Is the second slide visible? Yeah, is the second slide visible on the screen?
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. You can say, just click on the second slide.
Okay, so why do we set goals? Now, the thing is that if we really want to focus on our priorities, or we want to focus on the important things in life, and we want to finish our task efficiently, definitely we are required to set certain goals. Because we really can't take control of our life unless and until we have laid down certain goals for ourselves. Because if we are leading an aimless life, we do not know where we are going, what is our ambition, and what we really want to accomplish out of life. I think we would be leading a life which is, which really lacks motivation and direction. So that is why it is very important that we gain control over our own lives. And that will also be important if we really want to be self-confident and we want to make progress in our life. So goal setting takes us closer to success. Now, when we're talking of goal setting, even in organizations, in all companies, the managers, they are required to set the goals. Of course, we are going to talk about our own goal setting process in today's session, but why I'm talking about this is that to make you understand that why it is so important to set the goals. See, organizations, they have their vision, they have their mission to accomplish, and they have certain, goals and objectives. So the managers, good managers are expected that they lay down the goals of the organization in a planned manner. Now, for example, see, every company has a vision or a mission. All big companies, if you search their websites, they will have a vision statement and a mission statement. So what does it depict? So, for example, if we look at the vision of Walt Disney, the vision is to make others happy. So vision basically relates to the futuristic outlook of the company. Where does the company see itself after a certain number of years? So now to accomplish that vision, the company lays down the mission. So mission is more related to the core purpose of the company, and vision is related to the futuristic outlook of the company. Say, for example, for a newspaper and a TV news editor, the mission may be to provide information. So similarly, different people working at different profiles may have their own mission. So once we are able to lay down the vision and mission, this is followed by goals and objectives in order to achieve our mission and our vision. In fact, in organizations, when we talk about managers, when we talk about management, they have this process of MBO. This is MBO means management by objectives. So actually, it is believed in management that you really can't accomplish organizational goals, or you cannot attain a competitive advantage in the market unless and until you lay down objectives for each department, for people, and for the organization as a whole. And then, for the individuals, they also set up the KRAs, that is the key result areas. So this is to, give you an idea that when we are talking of goal setting, it is highly professional for us to, set goals for our own lives. Say, when we are talking of organizations, as I said, the key result areas relate to, the general outcomes or the output for which the department is responsible. So a person may have, around 3 to 5 key result areas. And then besides the key result areas, the key performance areas are also laid down, where the individual or a group is logically responsible or accountable for the results. But this is not over. Further, KPIs, that is key performance indicators, are set to check out that whether the people who are responsible for attaining those goals, to what extent, to measure the outcomes, whether they have been able to accomplish those outcomes or not. Just to give you an example, say for example, a company has a department, HR department, and their KPA, that is the key performance area, is recruitment. So now the KRA for the HR department is recruitment and selection. So the key performance area, how do we measure that the department is performing this task of recruitment or not? So that is provided as a key performance area. So from there, the key performance indicator is also following. For example, it says you reduce the average time taken to fill vacancies by 15%. So the figure is there, the target is there, that you have to reduce the average time taken to fill the vacancies by 15%. Further, another KPI may be there, say for example, reduce the average cost per recruit by 10%. That means they are talking of reducing the cost of recruitment by 10%. So you see how targets have been given and how they are measured with the help of these figures. Now, for example, another KRA may be health and safety at the workplace. So the KPA in that case can be workplace accidents. So that means whether the company has been making an effort, whether the department has been making an effort to reduce accidents at the workplace. And then the KPI can be to reduce the workplace accidents by 10%. So that is the indicator, whether the company has been able to reduce the workplace accidents by 10% or not. Then similarly, key result areas may be fixed in other areas, say for even, organizational learning, the number of training programs, and, the kind of training and development is in fact, an ongoing process in organizations. The managers are required to go through management development programs. So that is a regular feature in organizations. And for that also, the KPI may be fixed. For example, all workforce below middle management should receive a minimum of 4 days training. So here also you can see that fixed targets have been laid down, and the key performance indicators are there. So hence we can understand that how these organizations run, how do huge companies function, and how they become successful. It is only through goal setting. It is only through planned, and focused pathway towards the achievement of certain goals, which are set very carefully after a lot of discussion. Now, we can apply this technique in our life, and we can also be successful if we focus upon setting our goals. So when we talk about our goals, there may be long-term goals, there may be medium-term goals, and there may be short-term goals. So if we are clear about our long-term goals, what we really want to achieve in life, then in alignment with those long-term goals, we can set up the medium-term goals and the short-term goals. Now, but this is very important, that we need to be aware of, like, what is our ambition, what we really want to achieve. So in that case, it becomes really important to lay down the long-term goals and then accordingly lay down the medium and the short-term goals as well. Now, for us, like, and for the, even for the, from the management point of view, from an individual point of view, when we lay down the goals, the word SMART is the key word. That means, like, if we lay down vague goals, which are not measurable, which are not realistic, and which do not have any timelines, or which are not specific, so we will end with nothing. That means we won't be able to achieve anything. So it is not just, setting the goals. It is about how we set the goals, what kind of goals we have set. So let us just, understand this word SMART. So what kind of goals we should fix for ourselves? Say, for example, the specific, if we take the S, the specific goal, maybe that I want to lose weight. Now, is it really specific? I want to lose weight. Does it, create the focus? Anybody from the participants, what are your views? If we, for example, if we want to lose weight and we lay down the goal, I want to lose weight. So is it a good goal? Anybody from the audience would like to contribute? When we are saying, I want to lose weight, this is only what? A wishful thinking. Actually, it is not a goal. But when we say, I will lose 10 pounds in 90 days, then it becomes a specific goal. That means we are laying down that how much, weight we want to lose and within what time period we want to lose the weight. So you see, it is mentioned that I will lose 10 pounds in 90 days. This is more specific, and this makes it clear that how we should go about it. What is our target? Now, for example, I want to work for a consulting firm with offices in more than 50 countries. So this is again, something which talks about quantity. So when we are laying down the goals, important thing is we have to be specific rather than vague. Another thing is that it must be measurable. So when it is specific, it will become definitely measurable. Because the thing is that if we cannot measure it, we really can't accomplish it. So for accomplishing the goal, we need to have some way of measuring it. For example, say 10 pounds or 90 days, they are measurable. So now, for example, if a person lays down the goal that I will join 3 industry-related LinkedIn groups and add comments at least once a week. So a person can, measure his or her performance, that whether he has been able to really join 3 industry-related LinkedIn groups and whether he has been able to add the comment at least once. So this gives you a target. So it should be measurable. So S is specific and M is for measurable. Then another important thing, goals should be achievable. Now, see, if we lay down the goals, definitely they should be challenging, but it should not be something impossible for which we do not have the resources, or we, something which really cannot be, it is not practically possible to accomplish. So achievable here means that they should be out of reach enough to be challenging, but it should not be out of sight. Now, for example, say if I want to start my business using the strengths and skills that I have developed over the years. So this is, something, because a person is talking of starting the business based upon the skills which he or she has attained over the years. So this is something which can be achievable because the person is focused about having a business in the area in which he is skilled. So it should not be something which is quite impossible and out of sight. Then again, realistic is important. Now, for example, if a person wants to lose 50 pounds in 30 days, it will be quite unrealistic. So that means you have to take care that the goals which you are laying down, together with the fact that they are specific and measurable, at the same time, they need to be realistic. And of course, time bound, because without laying down the timelines, actually you will end up, accomplishing nothing. So there should be definitely a starting date and a finishing date when you lay down your goals. Say, for example, I will enroll in a certificate program within the next 3 months. The time factor has to be there. So yesterday we were also talking about time management. I would say that goal setting and time management go hand in hand. So for achieving your goals, you need to manage your time. And for, setting up smart goals, you need to lay down the timelines, because without laying down the timelines, goals hold no meaning. Now, what happens is that sometimes we are unable to accomplish our goals. So what are the top 5 goal killers? What stops us from accomplishing the goals? One is we do not want to get out of our comfort zone. We become complacent. We are happy with where we are. And we are, afraid of doing something new. So because of some insecurity, or because we become complacent or comfortable at a place we are, so we do not want to take a step ahead and move further in life. So that is very dangerous and it stops us from growth. So one of the top 5 goal killers is, the feeling of just restricting ourselves to our own shell and restricting ourselves to our own comfort zone. Sometimes we are in a state of self-doubt. That means we are not very confident of our own skills, or we lack experience, or we are not very sure of what we really want to accomplish in life. So that is also, one of the reasons why we are not able to accomplish our goals in life. And some people, they lack motivation, maybe due to their situation, maybe due to the financial situation, maybe due to the, maybe they have gone through certain crisis situations in life, or due to some past traumas or past experiences, they lack motivation, and that may become a hindrance in achieving the goals. Some people, they really, can't decide, they can't make up their minds that what should be their goals. They cannot define their goals because they lack clarity of thinking. They don't know what they want to accomplish out of life. So that inability to define the goals that also leads to failure in setting the right goals. And of course, absence of well-defined plans. Sometimes we do lay down the goals, but we do not lay down the action plan for achieving the goals. So when we are talking of goal setting, we are not merely talking of, setting the goals. We are also talking of laying down the action plan for achieving those goals. Because laying down goals in itself, I mean, will it be of no use unless and until you have a definite action plan to accomplish those goals? So now let us have a look at the 10 steps for goal setting and achieving. So this would rather help you to set your goals, and then, then we will come to an activity whereby you would be required to set your goals, a few of them. So first of all, when we talk about goal setting, the first step is that we need to, focus upon our own inventory. That is the SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis, those who are from management field must be aware of. Those who are not from management field, it is relates to strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So yesterday we did an exercise whereby we tried to identify our strengths and weaknesses, and opportunities are and threats are there in the external environment. When we talk of strengths and weaknesses, we are talking about our internal environment. And when we are talking of opportunities and threats, we are talking about the external environment. So one should be aware of her or his or her own strengths and weaknesses. Then only probably you can go about setting the goals. And yesterday we also did the Johari window exercise, and we understood the model, which is a model of self-awareness. So basically, when we are, setting the goals, we should be aware of our own traits, our own strengths, our own weaknesses, our own, personality attributes. Then only we would be able to identify our goals. Then based upon our own self-analysis, then we need to identify our goals. So goals may be, of different categories. They may relate to our profession or career, what we want to accomplish. They may relate to financial goals. Somebody may want to become rich or achieve a certain level of, financial independence in life. Or career goals, of course, you want to reach a certain position in life. Personal goals may relate to fitness. They may relate to relationships. They may relate to, a number of aspects which may be different for different people. They may relate to relationships, as I said. Then social goals, if you want to achieve a certain social status in the society, so you may set up social goals for yourself. And then spiritual or moral goals, they may relate to the value system and the kind of, environment you want to create or you want to live. So it may relate to, achieving closeness with God. It may relate to having a kind of ethics and value system in your life. So basically one has to think that in what area a person wants to set the goals. A person may take any of these areas or all of these areas or some of these areas depending upon what the person really wants to accomplish. Then, as we said, that you have to prioritize your priorities. That means you should be clear about, like, if you are setting your goals, which is the most important one for you at whatever stage of life you are. What is the number one goal for you? What is the number two goal for you? What is the number three goal for you? So naturally, it should be in order of priority. So if we talk about short-term goals, they are ideally achievable within 6 months to a year. And mid-term goals may be, which are achievable within 2 years from now. And long-term goals may be which you want to achieve in the next 2 to 5 years. And distant goals, like maybe like around 20 years or so. For example, if you want to own a home, or you have something which is, quite distant and quite far away from the present, then that maybe even 15, 20 years you may take for achieving those goals. So the important thing is that a person has to decide about his or her priorities, and according to that, the goals may be laid down. Now, another important thing is that one has to keep the feet planted on ground. That means you have to be aware of the ground realities. I mean, the kind of resources you possess, the kind of skills you possess, the kind of environment you are into, and accordingly, the goals should be set. As I said, that if you don't keep your feet planted on the ground, you may end up, laying down unrealistic goals for yourself. So one has to take care that when we are laying down our goals, they should be as per our ground reality, as per our resources, as per our skills, as per our experience. And then, it is very important to write it down, because we may have 100 things going on in our mind. Now, how much we are able to actually execute or implement. So it is good to write it down, because writing down the goals gives us a definite direction. And always we can refer back that whether we have achieved those goals or not. So it is very good to, in fact, write down your goals. And then, you can appoint a referee or a kind of mentor, maybe a senior, maybe a teacher, maybe for students, it can be their teacher or a mentor, or for a person who's working, maybe his senior or somebody he admires, or somebody who can give you the right direction, somebody whom you trust, somebody with whom you have good relations, somebody who can give you feedback, who can give you the right direction. So you can discuss your goals with that person, so that he or she is keeping a watch that whether you are moving in the right direction or not. And then making a timetable is very, very important. That time schedule, the timelines, as I said, unless and until you lay down the timelines, goals would be senseless. So what do you want to achieve in a week, whether you want to achieve your goals in a month or 2 months or a quarter or a month or an year, that should be clear to you, because without the timelines, it is actually useless to lay down the goals. Once you have laid down the goals, from time to time, you need to review your progress, whether you are moving in the right direction, to what extent you have been able to achieve the goals. And motivating yourself is also very important. If you have been able to accomplish a part of the goals, then it is something to celebrate, and you should motivate yourself. Don't look for external motivation. As I said yesterday also, it's good to motivate yourself. So, and that too on a daily basis, because that definitely improves our efficiency and enthusiasm. And after a certain time period, you may need to rewind and erase some of the goals. You may find that you could not accomplish, or maybe you did not set the right goals. So in that case, you can modify your goals, you can rewind, you can set new goals for yourself. So that will all depend on how much you've been able to accomplish, because as life goes on, it teaches us a number of things. So maybe we may need to modify our goals if after a certain period of time, we feel that, okay, this was not what I wanted, or this is like what I cannot really accomplish, the kind of situation I'm into. So that will all depend from person to person. But yes, keep a scope, not for all the goals, because then again, what will happen that if you take too much scope out of this last step, then probably you may not achieve your goals. But yes, in case of something, which is really, which really requires a kind of modification, then you can go in for modification of your goal. So in short, the 5-step goal setting process can be: brainstorm, write it down, track your progress, check in frequently, and celebrate once you are able to accomplish your goals. Now, we can just, undertake a small activity, exercise, whereby with the help of this kind of, worksheet, you can lay down the goals, the timeline. That means within how much time you want to accomplish the goal, what should be the commencement date, what will be the completion date, and as I said, you can lay down goals in any category. So it may be a career goal, it may be a fitness goal, it may be a spiritual goal, it may relate to a financial goal. So it all depends. So of course, like later on in your life, you can have a proper schedule and a proper diary to maintain, whereby you set your goals. Here, like if everyone can lay down at least one goal in any category of their choice and lay down the timeline and the commencement date and the completion date. And together with that, you should have the to-do list. That means what you will do to accomplish this goal. So, yes, so I would just like to give time, like maybe 5 minutes for the activity. And then we can just in short discuss like what goals have been laid down and what timelines and what is the action plan or to-do list for achieving the goals. So I hope that this sheet is clear and you would be able to lay down the goals for yourself.
Participants can take a screenshot of your live screen.
So this is the first sheet and this is the second sheet. That means the to-do list. What will you do to accomplish the goals which you set here? So just one goal for this, particular time period, because we've got limited time. So just one goal if you can lay down for yourself and the timeline. And then in your, later on in your life, you would know how to lay down the goals and then how to go for the to-do list for it. So this is the first sheet and this is the second sheet.
My goal is a short-term goal. So I have my exam on 18. So my goal will be to score 60 above in that examination. So
what
the
are you doing? Can you
timeline,
please repeat?
ma'am, I'm currently in my last year of B.Ed. So I have my
Okay.
exam on 18. So
Okay.
my goal is to score like about 870 at least in my examination. Okay. So the timeline will be from I'm in timeline. What is the date in exam? Like
Okay.
timeline will be for the preparation, right?
Right.
So it will be from 11 to 17 since it is in 18. The exam is on 18. So
Okay,
completion date will be on 17th.
okay,
Okay. And for to-do list, the next one,
yes,
first of all, I will arrange my syllabus according to the importance of the chapter. And then I will arrange them into the difficulty level. Then I will allot the time required for each level, like for each day, how much I should prepare. Then accordingly, I have to put check whether I'm completing it on time.
right, right. Good. So you have, within a short time, you have been able to lay down your goal because your exams are close. So you have that in mind and you've been able to lay down the timeline and the commencement date and the end date of that together with the to-do list. Good, good. So anybody else would like to share their views? और कोई आप में से कर पाए इसको? आप में से एक पार्टिसिपेंट ने इसको किया है, सो प्रॉब्ली आफ्टर लिसनिंग टू हर यू विल आल्सो गेट एन आइडिया कि आपको अपने लिए क्या गोल सेट करना है.
Any other participants? You can raise your hand.
So should we proceed further, sir? If the participants require more time, maybe it seems that they would require more time to lay down the goals.
Yes, Dr. Ajay Kishan. Please unmute yourself. Dr. Ajay Kishan.
So the participant, and maybe they can, share their goals in their groups and discuss more about this part with their friends, with their mentors, with their teachers. But at least they would have developed an idea about how to lay down the goals for their career, for their lives, and for their, financial part or spiritual part. Now we come to the next aspect, that is the interpersonal skills. So interpersonal skills, when we talk about, it is the ability to interact with people, whether we are interacting with people individually or in groups, through effective listening and communication. So what is important when we are talking about interpersonal skills? It is very important that we are good listeners and we are good at communication. At the same time, we should be able to control and manage our own emotion. Now, in today's world where we talk about building contacts, we talk about building a good network, तो जैसे हमको जरूरत पड़ती है कि आज के टाइम में ऐसा बोलते हैं कि नेटवर्किंग होनी चाहिए, आपके कॉन्टैक्ट्स अच्छे होने चाहिए, रिलेशनशिप्स अच्छे होने चाहिए. सो इन दैट केस ये सारी चीजें जो हैं वो कैसे डेवलप करी जा सकती हैं? That is through, unless and until we become good listeners and we are good at communication, हम अच्छे interpersonal relations maintain नहीं कर सकते. So when we are talking of developing interpersonal skills, then it is very important that we lay stress on verbal communication. मतलब हम कैसे बातचीत करते हैं, हम क्या कह रहे हैं, and are we aware of that? क्या हम उसको effective way में present कर पा रहे हैं, और हमको पता है कि क्या किस समय किससे क्या बात करनी है, assertive way में बात करनी है, polite way में बात करनी है, और हमारा जो tone of voice है वो कैसा होना चाहिए, हमारी pitch कैसी होनी चाहिए. These are the things which really, matter when we want to be good communicators. और उसके साथ it is very important कि non-verbal communication पे भी हम ध्यान दें, क्योंकि जब हम communicate करते हैं, so it is not only about words, हमारी body language, हमारे facial expressions, हमारे gestures, वो भी उतना ही impact डालते हैं. तो जब हम nervous हैं तो हमारी बॉडी लैंग्वेज डिफरेंट होती है, जब हम कॉन्फिडेंट होते हैं तो हमारी बॉडी लैंग्वेज अलग तरीके से होती है, हमारे फेस के एक्सप्रेशंस, हमारे जेस्चर्स, उन सब का ध्यान रखना बहुत जरूरी है. So that is why when we are talking of communication, हम केवल वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन की बात नहीं कर रहे, we are also talking of non-verbal communication. And as I said, listening skills हमारी बहुत जरूरी हैं. इसमें when we talk of listening skills, ज्यादातर लोग समझते हैं कि हमें केवल अच्छा बोलना आना चाहिए, we should be good communicators. But अगर आप अच्छी communication करना चाहते हैं तो equally important है कि आप अच्छे listener भी बने. You need to be a good listener, and उसके लिए you have to put yourself into the shoes of the speaker, of the other person. दूसरे के पर्सपेक्टिव से चीजों को समझना, जिसको बोलते हैं empathy, that is very, very important. That means looking at things from the other person's point of view. So जब हम listening की बात करते हैं, we should definitely, try to understand the mindset of the people with whom we are interacting. So that helps to improve our interpersonal skills. Then also we should be, good at team working. टीम में कैसे काम करना है वो हमको आना चाहिए, तभी हम अच्छे रिलेशनशिप्स डेवलप कर पाएंगे. क्योंकि as I was saying yesterday also, that in organizations most of the work is done through teams. So हम ग्रुप में कैसे काम करें, दूसरों के बिहेवियर, दूसरों के नेचर, दूसरों के एटीट्यूड, दूसरों के पर्सनालिटी के साथ कैसे एडजस्ट करें, ये सारी चीजें अगर हमको आती हैं, so in that case we would be able to develop good interpersonal skills. Then together with that, हमारे में होना चाहिए ability to influence others, ability to persuade others. And जब भी हम negotiate करें, जब भी हम किसी से बातचीत करें, किसी भी issue को लेके, तो हमारा जो result है, जो outcome है, वो win-win होना चाहिए. That means दोनों parties जिनसे आप बात करें और आप खुद, किसी को ऐसा ना लगे कि one party is a loser. दोनों के आउटकम्स जो है वो फेवरेबल होना चाहिए फॉर बोथ द पार्टीज, तभी आप अच्छे रिलेशंस मेंटेन कर जाएंगे. अगर सामने वाले को लगेगा जिससे आप बात कर रहे हैं कि जो भी आपने फाइनल किया है या जो भी आपने डिस्कशन किया है उसमें वो लूजर रहा है, तो वो आपसे कभी अच्छे रिलेशंस मेंटेन नहीं कर पाएगा. सो व्हेनेवर वी आर डीलिंग विद पीपल, जो बेस्ट आउटकम हमें कोशिश करनी चाहिए अचीव करने की, दैट इज द विन विन आउटकम. Then besides that, conflict resolution and mediation is very important. That is, अगर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स होती भी हैं, बिकॉज हमारी लाइफ में, हमारी पर्सनल लाइफ में, प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स होना जो है, दैट इज समथिंग वेरी नॉर्मल, बट उसको हम किस तरह से रिजॉल्व करते हैं, उसको हम किस तरह से उसका सोल्यूशन ढूंढते हैं, दैट अगेन डिटर्मिन्स कि हम किस तरह के रिलेशन बिल्डअप कर पाएंगे, इंटरपर्सनल रिलेशंस हमारे किस तरह के होंगे. And of course, we need to focus upon solving the problems and also taking the right decisions, especially solving the problems, in a group, working with others to look for the solution to the problem. So when we are talking of good interpersonal relations, definitely we need to focus upon these areas. और इससे interpersonal skills की हम बात करते हैं, it is very important that we develop social intelligence. Social intelligence किसको कहते हैं कि हम जब लोगों से बात करते हैं या उनसे इंटरैक्ट करते हैं तो उसके लिए हमको इंटेलिजेंस चाहिए, उसको हमें इंटेलिजेंटली और टैक्ट के साथ हैंडल करना आना चाहिए. एंड वी शुड नॉट बी अफेक्टेड बाय एनी बायस, या हमारी कुछ पहले से कुछ धारणाएं होंगी सामने वाले के बारे में जिसकी वजह से हम जो है एक सक्सेसफुल रिलेशनशिप बिल्डअप नहीं कर सकते. तो उन प्रेजुडिसेस को, उन प्री कंसीव नोशंस को छोड़ते हुए हमें दूसरों से अच्छी तरह बातचीत करनी चाहिए, उनके नजरिए से चीजों को समझना चाहिए, तभी हम अच्छे इंटरपर्सनल रिलेशंस मेंटेन कर सकते हैं. So now the thing is that how do we become socially intelligent for improving interpersonal skills? तो हमारा behavior कैसा होना चाहिए when we are dealing with people, when we are talking to people, हम अच्छे interpersonal skills कैसे develop करें? तो उसके लिए it is important, सबसे पहली चीज कि हमें biased नहीं होना चाहिए. हमें सामने वाले के बारे में कुछ पहले से अगर हम सोच के रखेंगे कि ये पर्सन तो ऐसा है, तो हमने उसको लेबल कर दिया कि ये तो दिस पर्सन इज ऑलवेज वेरी अग्रेसिव और वेरी रूड, या ये इनकॉम्पिटेंट है, या ये लो परफॉर्मर है, या इसमें ये बुराई है. अगर हम इस सोच के साथ उससे इंटरैक्ट करेंगे तो हमारा रिलेशनशिप उस पर्सन के साथ कभी बिल्डअप नहीं हो पाएगा. सो वी नीड टू बी अनबायस्ड, एंड हमारे जो प्री कंसीव नोशंस हैं उनको हमें कैरी नहीं करना चाहिए इन आर डीलिंग विद पीपल. और हमें हमारी टेंडेंसी होती है कि हम दूसरों को जज करते हैं, हम एनालाइज करते हैं सामने वाले को, किस बेसिस पे हम सोचते हैं हम ही सही हैं, वी आर राइट, व्हाट वी आर डूइंग इज व्हाट वी थिंक इज राइट, व्हाट वी आर डूइंग इज राइट. क्योंकि हमारे कुछ अपने बिलीव्स डेवलप हो चुके होते हैं, कुछ पास्ट एक्सपीरियंसेस की वजह से, हमारी खुद की प्रेफरेंसेस की वजह से, तो हम उस बेसिस पे दूसरों को जज करने की कोशिश करते हैं. इसका रिजल्ट क्या होता है कि सामने वाला इस चीज को पसंद नहीं करता और हमारे रिलेशंस अच्छे नहीं हो पाते. सो इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग इज दैट वी डोंट जज द पीपल बेस्ड अपॉन आवर बिलीव्स एंड प्रेफरेंसेस. हमें खुले विचारों से, ब्रॉड माइंडेड वे से लोगों के साथ डील करना चाहिए, एंड वी शुड नेवर ट्राई टू जज अदर पीपल. देन डेवलप एम्पैथी. एम्पैथी का मतलब होता है दूसरों के नजरिए से चीजों को समझना, दूसरों के नजरिए से चीजों को देखना, पुटिंग योरसेल्फ इन द शूज ऑफ अदर पर्सन. सो अगर आप वाकई चाहते हैं कि दूसरों के साथ अच्छे रिलेशंस डेवलप करें, सो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड द थिंग्स फ्रॉम देयर पर्सपेक्टिव. आप सोचो कि उनकी जगह मैं होऊंगा तो व्हाट विल आई से, हाउ विल आई रिएक्ट. सो वंस आप दूसरों के नजरिए से चीजों को समझना शुरू कर देते हैं तो आप एक बेटर कम्युनिकेटर और एक बेटर पर्सन, जिससे लोग मिलना चाहते हैं, जिससे लोग बात करना चाहते हैं, जिससे लोग अच्छे रिलेशंस बिल्डअप करना चाहते हैं, वो बन पाएंगे. Then another important thing is that we need to take criticisms constructively. अगर कोई हमको क्रिटिसाइज भी करता है, हमारी बुराई करता है, if it is coming from a person who trusts, whom we trust, जिसके ऊपर हमें विश्वास है, तो हमें उसके क्रिटिसिज्म को, अगर वो हमारे कुछ कमियां बताता है तो ध्यान से सुनना चाहिए और ये सोचना चाहिए कि is there really any scope for improvement? क्या वाकई हमें कुछ इम्प्रूवमेंट की जरूरत है? बिकॉज वो क्रिटिसिज्म किससे आ रहा है? उस पर्सन से जिसपे हम विश्वास करते हैं, जिसपे हम ट्रस्ट करते हैं. तो उस क्रिटिसिज्म को हमें नेगेटिवली ना लेके उसको एज ए लर्निंग अपॉर्चुनिटी लेके खुद में इंप्रूवमेंट करना चाहिए. देन एज आई सेड लिसनिंग स्किल्स इंप्रूव करनी चाहिए, बिकॉज ज्यादातर क्या होता है कम्युनिकेशन में कि सामने वाला सोचता है कि मैं ही बोलूं सब मेरी बात सुने. व्हाट अबाउट द अदर पर्सन जिनसे आप बात कर रहे हो, प्रॉब्ली वो भी कुछ बोलना चाहेगा. सो टू बी अ गुड कम्युनिकेटर और अच्छे रिलेशंस डेवलप करने के लिए आपको अपनी लिसनिंग स्किल्स डेफिनेटली इंप्रूव करनी चाहिए. आपको एक अच्छा लिसनर बनना पड़ेगा. And another important thing is that you need to stick to your commitment once it is made. अगर आप कोई promise करते हैं, कुछ commit करते हैं कुछ करने का, तो उसको फिर अवॉइड ना करिए. उसको फिर आप जिस समय जो बात आपने प्रॉमिस करी उसको आप पूरा करिए, तभी लोग आप पे ट्रस्ट करेंगे. और रिलेशनशिप्स में ट्रस्ट एक बहुत बड़ी चीज है. अगर आप ट्रस्ट नहीं जीत पाते लोगों का, तो आप अच्छे रिलेशंस भी डेवलप नहीं कर पाएंगे. और ये कैसे आप ट्रस्ट डेवलप कर पाएंगे कि अगर आपने कोई कमिटमेंट एक बार कर ली किसी से, सामने वाले से, तो उसको आप पूरा करें. And then it is very important to be cheerful. Always carry a smile wherever you go. I mean, nobody likes people who always have a frown on their face. किसी को ऐसे लोगों से मिलना पसंद नहीं होता जो खुश नहीं रहते, जिनके चेहरे पे हमेशा उदासी या फ्राउन रहता है. सो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि हम चीयरफुल रहें. जब हम लोगों से मिले, हंस के मिले, स्माइल दें, सो उससे लोग हमको ज्यादा लाइक करेंगे. एंड इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इज कम आउट ऑफ योर कंफर्ट जोन. वो कब होता है जब हम कई लोग इंट्रोवर्ट होते हैं, वो अपने आप में ही रहना पसंद करते हैं, वो ज्यादा लोगों से घुलना मिलना पसंद नहीं करते. तो ऐसे लोग जो है वो अच्छे रिलेशनशिप्स डेवलप नहीं कर पाते. हमें अपने आप को एक्सट्रोवर्ट बनाना पड़ेगा. लोगों से आगे बढ़ के मिलना चाहिए, उनसे बातचीत करनी चाहिए, एक अपना सर्कल बनाना चाहिए, एक अपना सोशल सर्कल बनाना चाहिए. तो अगर हमारे में ये टेंडेंसी है कि हम इंट्रोवर्ट हैं, तो हमें कोशिश करके इस टेंडेंसी को बदलना चाहिए. And then it is very important that we inspire, encourage and motivate people. तो दूसरों को हम encourage करें, inspire करें, motivate करें. देखिए फिर कितने अच्छे relations आपके develop होंगे. Because अगर हम नेगेटिविटी लाएंगे, जिनसे हम मिलेंगे, अगर उनको हमसे नेगेटिव वाइब्रेशंस आते हैं, या हम हर समय उनको डिस्करेजिंग या डीमोटिवेटिंग बातें करते हैं, तो प्रॉब्ली दे वुड नॉट लाइक टू मीट अस इन फ्यूचर. वो हमसे कम ही मिलना पसंद करेंगे. पर एक ऐसा पर्सन जो दूसरों को मोटिवेट करता है, एनकरेज करता है, इंस्पायर करता है, तो वो उनसे ज्यादा अच्छा उनको लगता है, उनका साथ, उनकी कंपेनियनशिप. सो इफ यू वांट टू डेवलप गुड इंटरपर्सनल रिलेशंस, वी शुड focus on encouraging and inspiring and motivating people. So Fyodor Dostoevsky has said, it takes something more than intelligence to act intelligently. That means कि हमें intelligent act करने के लिए बहुत कुछ चाहिए, इंटेलिजेंस से भी ज्यादा चाहिए. That means सिर्फ हमारी नॉलेज से नहीं होगा, हमें सोशल और इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस भी चाहिए. सिर्फ आईक्यू से नहीं होगा. हमारा ईक्यू भी उतना इंपॉर्टेंट है, हमारा सोशल इंटेलिजेंस भी उतना इंपॉर्टेंट है. अगर हम अपने फील्ड में एक्सपर्ट हैं, तो अपने फील्ड में एक्सपर्ट होना बहुत अच्छी बात है, पर सिर्फ वो काफी नहीं है अच्छे रिलेशनशिप्स डेवलप करने के लिए, लाइफ में सक्सेसफुल होने के लिए. So this is a listening skill self assessment, जहां पे आप अपने आप को असेस कर सकते हैं कि आप अच्छे लिसनर हैं या नहीं हैं. तो ये एक एक्टिविटी है. तो आई वुड लाइक टू आस्क सर कि शुड वी गो फॉरवर्ड विद दिस एक्टिविटी और वी शुड कंटिन्यू विद द लेक्चर. Yes, sir. Should we go forward with this activity, sir, or we should continue with the lecture, keeping in mind the time constraint, as you say? Okay, okay, fine. So, ये एक short सी activity है जिसमें we can understand कि हमारी listening skills कैसी हैं, तो हम अच्छे listener है या नहीं. इसमें ये 8 points ही हैं जो कि screen पे हैं. So, what you have to do, you have to read each sentence and इसमें आपको अपने आप को score देना है. So, score आप देख रहे हैं 4, 3, 2, 1. So, what you have to do, 4 is for almost always, 3 is for usually, 2 is for seldom, and 1 is for never. So, for example, first sentence said, do you let people finish what they are trying to say before you speak? तो अगर आपको लगता है कि आप दूसरों को अपनी बात खत्म करने देते हैं पहले, खुद बोलने से पहले, ज्यादातर, so you will give yourself 4, usually है तो 3, seldom है तो 2, और never है तो 1. Likewise, आपको हर स्टेटमेंट में आपको अपने आप को स्कोर देना, आपको अपने बारे में सोचना है कि ये एक लिसनिंग स्किल्स की एक्सरसाइज है कि आप में कितनी लिसनिंग स्किल्स हैं, आप कितने अच्छे लिसनर हैं. तो एक एक स्टेटमेंट को आपको पढ़ना है और उसमें आपको अपने आप को स्कोर देना है 4, 3, 2, 1 जो भी आप पे अप्लाई करता है. सो यू कैन स्टार्ट दिस एक्टिविटी एंड देन आई विल टेल यू स्कोर्स के बेसिस पे कि आप किस एक्सटेंट तक अच्छे लिसनर हैं. ओके, सो वी कैन स्टार्ट दिस एक्टिविटी. तो आप अपने ही नोट कर लीजिए कहीं एक एक पॉइंट का, आप नंबर 1 में फॉर एग्जांपल आपने 3 दिया, सो यू कैन नोट डाउन somewhere and then you can total your score. जैसे किसी ने 3 दिया, 4 दिया, 2 दिया, so नंबर 1, नंबर 2 करके अपने अपने स्कोर आप लिखते जाइए और उसके बाद आप उस स्कोर का टोटल कर लीजिए and then you can share the results. And 5 minutes आपके पास हैं क्योंकि सिर्फ 8 ही स्टेटमेंट्स हैं जिसमें आपको सेल्फ असेसमेंट करना है.
So, ma'am, can you hear me now? Yeah. Actually, I was jotting down when you were speaking, and I've already finished the assessment.
Okay, and that's great. That's great.
I have scored 28, ma'am.
Okay, what have you scored?
28, ma'am.
28?
Total, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you have scored 28, it is actually very good. And that means you are a good listener, but still, you can go for a higher score if you make an effort to put more attention into what others are speaking. So ideally, the highest score for this is between 29 to 32.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All
so,
right.
Yes, I can see like some of you are sharing your scores. Deepti 25, Meenakshi 27, Vaibhavi 28. And others can also share their scores. Okay, 32, Dr. Ajay Krishnan. Good. Tabassum 21 and Shailet 26, 25, 30, 24. Okay, that's great. Most of you, I mean, the scores are good, although there is still scope for improvement. 22, I can see somebody has put, or Ravi has put 22. Okay, Nitisha has 28, Kirti has 28. Sadhana has got 20. Ramdas 23. Then, okay, Dr. Ishrat 26. So I would like to share that what is the interpretation of your scores. Okay. So if you have got a score between 29 to 32, so you can, check for yourself that where you are, in which range you are. So a score of 29 to 32 means that you are an outstanding listener. So I could see like one or two have got 32. So, and in 30, I can see Reena Das, Dinesh Mehta. So this means that you are an outstanding listener. You are good, really good at listening. Then number of scores were, most of the scores I saw between 24 to 28, which is also good, but you need to put still more effort while paying attention to what the others are saying. And see, you must have identified कि आपने अपने आप को किस स्टेटमेंट में कम रेटिंग दी है, तो उस एरिया पे आप वर्क करिए क्योंकि आपके रिजल्ट्स आपके सामने हैं. सो आपने किस स्टेटमेंट में अपने आप को कम रेटिंग दी है, वो आपकी एरिया ऑफ इम्प्रूवमेंट रहेगा. सो 24 to 28 is also good, but as I said, it requires scope for improvement. But 29 to 23, it really needs more work, because यहाँ पे आपको serious work करना पड़ेगा अगर आपको अच्छे interpersonal relations बनाने हैं, अच्छी listening skills develop करनी है, तो you have to identify seriously कि किन areas में आपकी low rating है और उन areas पे आपको work करना पड़ेगा. And अगर 18 से below rating है, which I didn't see for any of you, 18 से below तो किसी की rating नहीं थी. So like if somebody has got rating below 18, then you have to seriously rethink about your behavior. कि आपके behavior में कहाँ क्या कमी है और आपको किस way में proceed करना है, इसमें आपको serious thinking की जरूरत रहेगी. So I hope that this exercise has made you aware of your listening skills and you would use the scores for your self-improvement, because you know the areas where you have given yourself a little lower rating. So focus upon improvement of those areas so that not only you become good at communication, because communication does not mean only speaking. Listening is a very important part of communication. लोगों को ये गलतफहमी रहती है कि communication मतलब बोलना, अच्छा बोलना. It's not about only, being a good orator or good speaker. It is equally about being a good listener. Listening is a part of communication. और जब तक आप अच्छे listener नहीं हैं, आप लोगों से अच्छे relation maintain नहीं कर पाएंगे. So that is very important. So Bonnie, you are raising your hand. You want to say something?
No, ma'am, I am done. Actually, that was a long time back.
Okay, because I could see your hand raised. So that is why I asked. It's fine, fine. Okay, so like after listening skills, another important skill which is so important is our ability to influence others, जिसको हम कहते हैं persuasion skills. So हम कितना लोगों को convince कर पाते हैं, कितना लोगों को influence कर पाते हैं, वो हमारी persuasion skills होती हैं. So especially, how much we can convince someone else to carry out an action or agree with an idea. So in the workplace, we may use persuasion. Say, for example, जैसे somebody wants to sell the products or you want to recruit team members and increase productivity. Life में हमें कई बार अपने influencing skills की बहुत जरूरत पड़ती है, professionally भी, personally भी. So that is why it is very important कि हम इन skills को develop करें. तो ये skills हम कैसे develop कर सकते हैं? So actually Tim Baker has given, certain persuasion strategies. एक तो Tim Baker has talked about पुश स्टाइल में होता है कि इट इज अ वेरी डायरेक्ट मीन्स ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन, मतलब डायरेक्टली हम लोगों को परसुएट करने की कोशिश करते हैं बाय बीइंग हाईली असर्टिव। अपनी असर्टिवनेस से हम लोगों को डायरेक्टली इन्फ्लुएंस करने की कोशिश करते हैं, उसको पुश स्टाइल कहते हैं। देन देयर इज अ पुल स्टाइल ऑफ इन्फ्लुएंसिंग व्हिच इज लेस डायरेक्ट। दैट मींस रादर देन डूइंग अ डायरेक्ट एफर्ट वी ट्राई टू identify the negative of the current situation in order to persuade the other person. So rather than telling him directly that this is the way he or she should act, we tell him indirectly by pointing out that what are the negativities or what are the loopholes of the current situation. So that is a kind of indirect persuasion. Then when we use the influencing approach, there are two ways in which we can do it. One is the logical approach and the other is the emotional approach. So logical approach means when we talk on the basis of data, when we talk on the basis of facts and figures, हम जो कह रहे हैं उसको हम सपोर्ट करते हैं कुछ फैक्ट्स एंड फिगर से, कुछ डेटा से। तो जो लॉजिकल वे में परसुएट करते हैं वो अपनी बात को स्ट्रांगली कैसे कहते हैं, क्योंकि उनके पास इनफ लॉजिक होता है, उनके पास इनफ डेटा होता है, उनके पास फैक्ट्स एंड फिगर्स होती हैं अपनी बात को प्रूव करने के लिए। और कुछ लोग इन्फ्लुएंस करते हैं इमोशंस के बेसिस पे। दैट मींस दे अपील टू द थ्रू द फीलिंग्स एंड द हार्ट। सो like different people have different approach. कभी हम लॉजिकल बेसिस पे दूसरे को इन्फ्लुएंस कर सकते हैं और कभी हम इमोशनल बेसिस अडॉप्ट करके भी दूसरों को इन्फ्लुएंस कर सकते हैं। सो in fact ये इन्फ्लुएंसिंग स्टाइल्स, these have been given by Tim Baker's influencing strategies, whereby he's talked about different ways of influencing. One is motivation, then another was collaboration, investigation and calculation. So some of these, as you can see, motivation is more belonging to the push and emotional side, and investigation is more belonging to the logical and investigation side. So what we really need to understand कि how do we use these strategies. अगर हम motivation strategy use करते हैं, the motivators, they use more of emotion and they tend to be good at creating a compelling vision. तो एक strategy हमारी ये हो सकती है कि emotion के basis पे motivation को use करते हुए हम लोगों को influence करें. Then is the collaborators. Now the collaborators, they also use emotion, but collaboration means what? Kind of equal partner. So they, by their behavior, they try to project that they are with them in their decision. वो collaborate करने को तैयार हैं उस particular decision में. So that is the way of collaboration whereby आप दूसरों को influence कर सकते हैं. What you can ये आपको decide करना है कि आपको किस way में, कौन सी strategy किस situation में किस person के साथ आपको apply करनी है. Besides that, the investigators may be there. Now, investigators, they like to have all the facts available and use data as a way to persuade others. जैसे कि मैंने कहा कि कुछ लोग लॉजिकल बेसिस पे अपनी बात को प्रूव करना चाहते हैं, क्योंकि वो जो कह रहे हैं उसको सपोर्ट करने के लिए they have got enough proof, they have got facts and figures, they've got data. So this is one way of influencing people. आप अपनी बात, आपकी बात में वजन कैसे आएगा, आप उसको प्रूव करोगे डेटा के थ्रू, फैक्ट्स एंड फिगर्स के थ्रू. And then the fourth strategy is that of calculators. So calculators tend to present both the positive advantages of changing and the negative aspects of status quo. Status quo means what? जिस state में आप presently हैं. तो जो calculators होते हैं वो जो प्रेजेंट स्टेट है उसमें क्या नेगेटिव एस्पेक्ट्स हैं उसके बारे में बात करते हैं, और जब अगर चेंज वो करवाना चाह रहे हैं तो जब चेंज होने के बाद क्या उसके फायदे होंगे, क्या पॉजिटिव एडवांटेजेस होंगी, उसकी बात करते हैं. सो नाउ इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन अस कि हम किस सिचुएशन में किस पर्सन के साथ उसको कैसे इन्फ्लुएंस करना चाहेंगे. और इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग इज कि सामने वाला किस तरह का पर्सनालिटी है, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ पर्सनालिटी इज द पर्सन whom we are trying to influence. वो किससे ज्यादा इन्फ्लुएंस होता है, वो किससे ज्यादा प्रभावित होता है, क्या वो डेटा से ज्यादा प्रभावित होता है, क्या वो इमोशनल पर्सन है तो इमोशन से ज्यादा प्रभावित होता है. So how we can influence him, so that depends upon the person whom we are trying to influence, the kind of situation we are into. But we can use any of these strategies according to our discretion, according to the situation. But important thing is that हमारी persuasion जो वो ethical होनी चाहिए. We should use these tactics ethically. That means किसी गलत काम करने के लिए हमें अपनी persuasion skills use नहीं करनी चाहिए. कुछ illegal करने के लिए, कुछ immoral करने के लिए हमें persuasion skills use नहीं करनी चाहिए. Rather, we should use our persuasion skills to do the right kind of things and the legal things and things which are in the interest of everyone. So our persuasion should, our influencing skills should always be used for the right purpose and for the right things. So these are some of the, points which I wanted to discuss about like strategies for persuasion. So the last part which I'm going to discuss, like certain, tips for job interviews when you prepare, when you go for interviews, especially the freshers. So how they should prepare for the jobs and what kind of, questions may be asked. So this is just some of the tips which will enable you to prepare yourself for the job interview. Now, before a person goes for a job interview, it is very important that we have background information about the company. That means हम जिस organization में interview देने जा रहे हैं उसके बारे में हमें पहले ही background information होनी चाहिए, because that would make us clear कि सामने वाले की हमसे क्या expectation हो सकती है, वहाँ पे क्या culture है, वहाँ पे क्या rules and regulations है, वहाँ पे क्या system है और company के important members कौन है, ये सारी information पहले ही हमें लेके फिर उसके बाद interview face करना चाहिए. So we should be aware of the vision of the company, the mission of the company, then who are the senior leaders of the company, for example, who is the CEO of the company, who is the director, and then we should also be much aware of the venue for the interview, kahan pe interview hoga, and any achievement of the company during the past years, वो भी हमको पता होना चाहिए. क्योंकि जब हम जिस कंपनी में इंटरव्यू जिसका हम हिस्सा बनना चाह रहे हैं, जहां हम इंटरव्यू दे रहे हैं, अगर उसकी हमारे पास कोई बैकग्राउंड इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं होगी तो ज्यादा पॉसिबिलिटीज है कि हम रिजेक्ट हो जाएं. ज्यादातर लोग इस पे मिस कर देते हैं, वो इंटरव्यू देने जाते हैं बट दे डोंट हैव एनी इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट द कंपनी फॉर व्हिच दे आर गोइंग फॉर द इंटरव्यू. सो ये एक इम्पोर्टेंट प्रेपरेशन है जो इंटरव्यू से पहले हमें करनी चाहिए. देन सम commonly asked questions जो freshers से पूछे जाते हैं वो है like these questions should be well prepared, and they can be a separate session for discussing these questions, that what should be the answers, how you should answer these questions. But the common questions at this point of time which I can tell you is like questions like, tell us about yourself, in like what were the extracurricular activities in which you participated, which subjects do you like the most and why, say what contribution did you make to NSS or any other social service, what was your learning, why did you choose a particular specialization, what are your strengths and weaknesses. ये एक important question है जो पूछा जाता है in most of the interviews. What are your strengths and weaknesses? तो आपको इसको कैसे आंसर करना है वो आना चाहिए. So then why should we hire you? ये again this is very important question, because company says कि हमारे पास तो बाहर 100-200 कैंडिडेट और खड़े हैं, आप में ऐसी क्या बात है कि हम आप ही को हायर करें. Why should we hire you? हमारे पास तो और भी दूसरे कैंडिडेट हैं जो इंटरव्यू के लिए हैं, आपसे ज्यादा एक्सपीरियंस्ड हैं और या आपके बराबर एक्सपीरियंस्ड हैं, तो आप में ऐसी क्या खास बात है that we should hire you. So you should be ready for this question always in the interview. Then the company may ask that what causes you to lose temper. आपका family background पूछ सकते हैं. Then आपका vision पूछ सकते हैं. अभी हमने vision और mission discuss किया. तो ये पूछ सकते हैं कि where do you see yourself 5 years from now? आने वाले 5 साल में आप अपने आप को कहाँ देखते हैं? तो ये सारी चीजें, I mean, you should be prepared when you go for an interview. Then like, do you prefer to work in a team? Because आजकल जैसे कि I said कि team working is very important. So people, the companies are looking for people who are good at working in a team. फिर relocation के बारे में पूछ सकते हैं कि are you willing to go where the company sends you? तो अगर उनको कुछ दूसरी जगह पे भेजना है और आप no कर देते हैं तो आप reject हो जाएंगे. So you have to be aware that what should be the right answers to these questions, and you should be prepared in advance for these questions. Now, there are certain tips that would assist a candidate during an interview. That means you should always before the interview, आपके लिए जरूरी है कि आप time पे पहुंचे. Always reach the venue of interview on time. अगर आप खुद ही late पहुंचेंगे interview के time, तो वहीं पे आप reject हो जाएंगे, because you know, time is something which you know, professionals are really particular about. आप interview में ही late पहुंचेंगे तो आप उनके जो timings हैं, office timings या company timings, उससे आप कैसे comply कर पाएंगे? So this is very important. Then, as I said, background check you should do about the company. Job description ko you should read very carefully, that what are the roles and responsibilities of the job for which you are giving the interview. आप जिस काम के लिए, जिस जॉब के लिए इंटरव्यू देने जा रहे हैं, उसकी क्या रोल्स एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज हैं, उसको आप अच्छी तरह से पढ़ के और समझ के तब you should give the interview. Then your dressing sense is so important. So when we're talking of personality development, when we are talking of, you know, dressing for the occasion, agar I have seen students who got rejected, very good students who got rejected, उनसे interview लिया ही नहीं गया, because when they entered, their footwear was not matching with the kind of dress they were wearing. तो उनको बाहर से ही I mean अंदर ही नहीं बुलाया गया, and they were rejected there and then. Interview नहीं लिया गया. Why? कि अगर आपको यही नहीं पता कि किस ड्रेस के साथ कैसा फुटवेयर पहनना है, तो आप employable नहीं है. You are not, you know, employable, and we would not like to have you. So I know such kind of, you know, students who could not really appear for the interview because they got rejected at the entrance itself because of lack of proper dressing sense. So that is again very, very important, the way you dress up for the interview. And then always carry the name and contact number of the concerned person whom you are going to meet in the company. Then during the interview, you should carefully listen to the questions that are asked. आप बीच में ही अगर बोलने लगेंगे या question को ध्यान से नहीं सुनेंगे, how will you answer it? So it is very important that you, as I said, listening skills are important, but they're equally important at the time of interview as well. So please listen to the questions that are asked, and don't be in a hurry to answer. आप जो भी आंसर दें वो बहुत सोच समझ के आराम से कूल और काम वे में दें. I mean एंजाइटी में या बहुत जल्दबाजी में या हेस्टी वे में if you give the answers, तो आप एक तो सही जवाब नहीं दे पाएंगे, सही सोच नहीं पाएंगे, और आपका जवाब जो है वो I mean impress नहीं करेगा to the interviewers. Then don't, you know, speak a lie during the interview, क्योंकि आप कुछ भी गलत claim करते हैं या गलत बात बोलते हैं या कुछ झूठा claim करते हैं, वो पकड़ में आ ही जाता है. So जो भी आप बोले, speak honestly, वो ज्यादा appreciate किया जाएगा, and you will have greater, you know, chances of selection. क्योंकि जो लोग आपका interview ले रहे हैं वो कोई अरे गरे लोग नहीं होते. They are expert in their field. They have lot of years of experience and they have seen life. So there's no point in telling lie or, you know, trying to beat about the bush. Be very honest and authentic in your interview. And then keep your body language positive, and always, as I said, keep a smile on your face. So that will create a good impression. So body language is very important. कुछ लोगों को I've seen that वो nervous हो जाते हैं, so they उनके hand movements जो है वो उस तरह के हो जाते हैं, body movements उस तरह के हो जाते हैं, which shows their nervousness. वो चीज नहीं होनी चाहिए. You should project confidence in your body language rather than nervousness. And the last part, that जब आप interview end करें, so you should part ways on a positive note. चाहे result कुछ भी आप select हो नहीं हो, you should greet and you should end your interview on a positive note. And also you should try to find out about the results of the interview, how you will be informed about the results and by when you will be informed. So these are certain tips which you need to keep in mind. at the time of the interview. And if you keep these tips in mind, definitely there will be a greater possibility of selection in a job interview. So with all this, I would like to end my presentation and would like to thank all the participants and the organizers for giving me the opportunity to interact with everyone and share some of my thoughts on some of the areas of soft skills like self-management. Then, of course, we talked about interpersonal skills, we talked about persuasive skills, we talked about goal setting, and we also talked about how we should face interviews. So this is all from my side. Thanks a lot to everyone.
Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful session and for gracing us with your presence. The short-term training program Zoom meeting joining details will be same for all 7 days. The feedback form link will be shared on the last day, 13th April 2022 in live Zoom meeting chat box. After all 7 days successful participation with feedback, participants will receive e-certificate till 15th April 2022. We are grateful for your active participation in our research and development programs. Thank you all for joining us today.